Hi, my name is Cora Hannigan, and this is my presentation on Dr. Mary Engel Pennington. Dr. Mary Engel Pennington was born in Nashville, Tennessee on October 8, 1872, and later died in New York on December 27, 1952. She spent a good portion of her life in Pennsylvania, where she studied chemistry and biology. She earned herself a certificate of proficiency rather than a bachelor's degree from the town's scientific school in 1892 because at the time the university denied giving degrees to women. However, she later obtained her PhD at the age of 22 in 1895 from the University of Pennsylvania, which became one of the very few universities in the country to grant such a high degree to women. Struggling to find a job after graduating, she created her own laboratory, also known as the Philadelphia Clinic Laboratory, in 1898, where she conducted bacteriological analysis, creating her first ideas of action including the improvement of ice cream supply to children by educating local farmers on handling raw milk. This was her first push towards revolutionizing the food supply, and it landed her a position with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Bureau of Chemistry, which is now famously known as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. She earned herself the title of the FDA's first female lab chief of the Food and Research Laboratory, where her research heightened. Dr. Pennington's impact on agriculture has been quite substantive. Her research helped her develop standards for safe processing of chicken after closely studying each stage from the slaughterhouse to the packing house to transportation. She then ultimately deemed that piercing the chicken's brain with a small knife rather than the traditional axe and block method of slaughtering them allowed the poultry to stay intact during transportation to lessen the growth of bacteria. She also impacted the transportation of the chicken by extracting heat and dry packing the poultry and transporting them in refrigerated train cars rather than the chickens sitting on ice, and the ice eventually melting, leaving the product floating in water upon arrival. She later used the same process with eggs and noted that the original way of transporting them led to many cracks, which were regularly sent to egg breakers' plants to be frozen or canned. This was unsanitary and led to high levels of bacteria, making them unsafe for consumption. She educated farmers on collecting eggs in warmer weather and shipping the eggs in a crate, also known as the modern egg crate, to ensure safer travel. Later, she reformed methods of processing fish to preserve freshness. She educated people on the ideas of scaling, skinning, free-packing the fish immediately after it's caught. With her development and ideas of safer transportation for the food supply, she made the refrigeration idea workable with train cars and helped design the ice-cooled refrigerator car. This eventually led her to an involvement with domestic refrigeration, and she oversaw the design and construction of modern refrigerated warehouses and home refrigerators, earning herself the name of Ice Woman. Being as knowledgeable as she was able to not only educate the government on adapting her ideas into the food industry, but was also able to educate the public and local farmers on handling perishable foods properly to ensure safety of consumption. And with all of the progress in knowledge, it is safe to say she was a big part of revolutionizing the food supply. In the picture above, it shows the design of a boxcar with the ice cooling feature. Dr. Mary Engel Pennington expresses the importance of air circulation to keep the product fresh. Pictured below, Dr. Pennington is seen conducting experiments on top of the refrigerated boxcar. Lastly, pictured on the right is her design of the refrigeration room, again creating an emphasis on the circulation of air within the room. We still see Dr. Pennington's impact on our lives today. Some of the first designs of the refrigerated room later led to the advancement of freezer and refrigerated sections we see in grocery stores today. Her knowledge and education on other methods of preserving perishable foods allows food to stay fresh longer, hence longer expiration dates. This is also important in emergency situations, as we now know how to safely store food without the luxury of a refrigerator. Her research and investigations on the process of how eggs are transported allowed the creation of the modern egg crate, which is now known as an egg carton, seen in nearly every home in America. I would like to finish with my works cited, and to just say thank you to everybody who's been in this class the last 14 weeks. Being able to highlight women in the field has been a breath of fresh air, and has also given me a little bit of hope and guidance into what I might want to do in the future. So thank you all.